sissies, hi sisters, hi feminine gods. My name is Rashida and I'm here with my girl Mercy.
Hi.
Mercy Victoria from CMV Love.
You feel me? Like it's big business over here. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, man. What are we about today? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great actually. I'm glad that we're having this conversation. Finally.
I know, right? It's been a minute. We had to do this like when? In the 17th century.
I wish it was. But today, we're discussing, of course, you remember what we discussed in the previous episode.
So I want us to do a small recap of our previous episode. Let guys know the debrief of why we are coming to what we're going to talk about before we talk about why.
Before we talk about what we're going to talk about, I have to remind you about why we started this podcast in the beginning.
Please.
We created this so that we can talk to women and kind of wake them up, remind them of their power, and hopefully save the world in the process.
Amen.
Because right now the world where it's going, the direction it's taking, we're going all the way down. We're about to crash. And it's our job as women, as life givers, as creators, as people who give life to the planet. It's our job to save it. So yeah, that's what the last episode was about. And in this episode, I would like us to get into why the world is crashing. Because in order to fix something that's going wrong, you need to know why it's going wrong.
Exactly.
So today we're going to talk about why it's going wrong and where the system broke down.
And why it is the way it is.
Yeah.
So, guys, I honestly, like, I dream of days like this. I'm happy this has happened. I'm happy that we keep on getting spiritually awakened.
Right.
Because this is something that not everyone is gifted with, but if someone has a gift, why not share it? You get me? Like, It's only right, it's only righteous.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, when you Google how to fight the patriarchy, this is what Google tells you. Before my sister goes and debriefs us as to the causes, I want you to just hear the reasons and the how to fight. Basically, we just need your help to bring about better future for that, but as females in your life. Number one, they're telling us support women-owned businesses. They're not saying that because they're forcing you to support the women. You have to do that to better the life that we want for ourselves.
Right.
Number two, it's going to be very short, sorry. Number two is going to be support female-fronted bands. So be it an organization, so it being a tour company, so it being a hotel. If it's women-inspired, there's something fruitful that's going to come out of that business. At the end of the day, whether you don't like it, whether you like it, my friend, it has to happen.
Yeah.
Number three says, educate yourself. That's what we're doing right now.
Right.
We're educating ourselves. We're making ourselves know things that we are bliss to. Because ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, you feel me?
Right.
So, it says we have to also vote. Because voting is key, of course, like for more women, people in power, the better for the community. It helps people grow, excel, brighten the world. Brilliancy is just spreading naturally without even forceful tactics of we force you to be bright, they'll be bright. You ain't gotta force these things. These things are natural.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah.
Then also, last but not least, it says call out misogynist behavior. That is very crucial, my friends.
Right.
My sisters, my ladies, my babies. Let me tell you, call these people out, because if you do not tell them, if you do not sit them down and tell them that, hey, this is what is wrong, they will not understand you. They will not get it.
Right.
Or should they get me?
I know what you're saying.
Like, they actually will not get it. They will be like, hey, it's supposed to be like that. Hey. But why are you hiding it from yourself?
Right.
Anyway, I'm done breaking that down. My sister, let us flow into the what?
Into the cause of why the world is breaking down.
Thank you.
Personally, I keep talking about cause and effect. because there was a cause for me to come and start looking at why the world is breaking down. And the cause of why I started to look into it is because I realized that most of the people that I'm interacting with are not happy, whether they're rich, whether they're poor, whether they are male, whether they are female.
Yes.
And I was trying to understand why that is the way it is, despite the fact that they give you guidelines in order to live a happy and successful life. And I put that in quotes.
Quotes, that's a happy life that is defined
Right.
to the world around us.
Yes. I mean, they tell you when you get born, you go to school, get a degree, get a job, get married, and then have kids, probably die.
And you'll be good. I promise. We promise. It's the best life ever.
Right.
It's the one that we're selling you. It's the perfect life.
Right. And everyone kind of believes it and goes along with it. But then along the lines, they continue to believe it even though they know it's not true. Because when you talk to them, you can hear what they're telling you. We're not happy, we're not fulfilled, this is not working, something is off, da 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 da. But because it's the only thing that they know, they find themselves pushing on with this thing. So that brought me to why I had to figure out what is wrong with the system and where did it break down from.
And why it's not working.
And why it's not working. And in the previous episode, I was telling you about Princella, the Queen Maker.
Yes.
She's a microbiologist and she believes in logic, she believes in science, she believes in facts.
Facts, not
she
fiction.
believes in reality.
Yes.
She doesn't believe in philosophy and ideas. And
That's nothing to her. Those are creations by man.
Yes, that's a man-made something. But her, she looks at nature, she looks at the natural world, and she bases what that natural world is in order to know what it should be. Because you can't know that something is in dysfunction without knowing what it would have been in function. So, for us to know how our world is in dysfunction, we have to look at the world where it is in function. And that world is the natural world, the wild world, where you find the lions living in the wild. You can find it in the flowers, you can find it in the bees, you can find it in nature. In nature, most of it is still operating in the way it was supposed to be operated. Despite the fact that man has also affected it the way he has affected it, most of it is still operating in its natural essence.
Yes.
So Princella told us that if we want to find out how human beings were supposed to be operating, we have to look at the natural world. Because we are all animals. Human beings are also mammals. In the same way that a whale is a mammal, in the same way that all the other animals are mammals, and we are all connected.
We're basically beings.
Yes, we're all beings. And if we look at the beings in the natural world that are operating in the way they're supposed to be operating,
Yes.
there is something that they do differently than we do. In the natural world, the man or the male is not assigned to a woman. One male is not assigned to one woman in the natural world. In the natural world, it's all women, about 10 to 15 females, and 1 to 2 or 3 males in that group. And they don't confine that man to that group for the rest of his life or for the rest of their life. They allow him to come and go and do his duties. Yes. When the season is right, he will come, do whatever he needs to do, and then go back. That's how it is in the natural world. The difference between that and the way we do it in our artificial man-made world, because patriarchy is man-made, if we look at the differences, what we are doing is we are getting one male and one female and putting them in one house and making them live together for the rest of their lives.
Forcefully, and you expect happiness.
Yes.
You expect the nature to work the way it's supposed to work in its course. Impossible.
Yes. What I think people don't know is that men and women are not the same.
They'll never be.
We have different biological compositions that make us different. In the same way you look at 2 dogs but you can differentiate the female from the male. Or you look at humans and you can differentiate the male from the female. Even in plants, you can know which one is the male plant and which one is the female plant.
True.
So there's a difference in us, in our biological compositions. Men are made of testosterone, women are made of estrogen, and because of those 2 differences, that's why when we put them together, we clash.
True.
Because these 2 chemicals are supposed to be put together for only a limited amount of time and then set apart.
Yes.
And that keeps the equilibrium. So what we're doing right now, forcing 2 people who are opposing
That's actually very interesting. I want to also talk about something in that line before you extend in.
Right.
So when you talk about the man being different from the woman, it makes sense to me because of the aggression. I feel like aggression has been something I've been given. Does that make sense?
Of course it does. For a woman it will. And I'm sure even for men it does make sense.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So when I make research and look at the sins of patriarchy, I am more than disgusted as usual.
Right.
And belittled by the fact that this is information that is out there and it's being spread, and wow, we're actually living in it.
Yeah,
when you go to Google, it really tells you that it's waged by the unlearning what patriarchy teaches, accepts, and rewards for. In quotes, they put good girls.
Right.
And embracing what Ellerworth calls the 7 necessary sins that all women and girls must adopt in the revolutionary battle. Oh, this hurts me so much.
Right.
These include, he mentions them with no shame: anger, attention, profanity, ambition, power,
Right.
violence,
Right.
last but not least, lust. I would like for my sister Rashida to continue from there.
Well, if you look at a male's biological makeup, they're made of testosterone, like I've said. Testosterone is the chemical that is responsible for those characteristics that you have talked about. It's responsible for aggression, it's responsible for violence, it's also responsible for competition, it's responsible for motivation. It actually helps, but it can be a good thing and a bad thing.
I wanted you to help me answer for the people who are listening.
Right.
Do you think if they had less, or let's say we call it less, testosterone in their bodies, because women can be like, he's just like that for a short time, do you think women should stay in that belief of he will change?
No, they cannot change.
You've had it, ladies. You've had it.
That's how they were made.
Thank you.
They cannot change. Their biological makeup cannot allow them. I mean, they can be trained, because you can train a dog as well. A dog will be a dog, but you can train him in a way that he can live in society domestically. So when I'm talking about men, I usually compare them to dogs because they give me the same vibes.
It's giving doggish.
But I'm not saying it in a mean way of men and dogs and what. But their biological makeup is almost similar. But yes, men are not capable of changing, but you can train them in order to operate in their higher selves instead of operating in their lower selves, where you find men raping and pillaging and warring every day. That's men operating in their low vibrational sense. But if you train them and bring them up in a way that brings out their higher self, yes, but that takes a lot of work. And most men don't want to do the work. They are lazy. It's just who they are. They need a certain incentive to get them to that point where they want to do the work to increase their higher self. If that incentive is not there, they're not going to do the work. And the only incentive that a man listens to is either sex or food. If you take away either food or sex, he will then be forced to go back and look at how he can increase his higher self so that he can come back to the woman and the woman accepts him, because so he can have the sex and the food that he actually wants. So are they capable of change? Yes, but it takes a lot of work to do, a lot of work, and that a lot of work can only be done by women.
And we're here to do that. It's sad, but it's the honest truth. It is us. We are the life givers, we're the leaders, with or without us liking it or wanting it. It is given to us naturally.
Yeah.
So it's just for taking I get exhausted.
Right.
I'm sorry guys, but
that's a lot of work.
I haven't been sleeping lately. I've been like up all night, like just thinking. My frontal is hurting, my head hurts. This information is draining me in the perfect ways it should be draining me.
And I'm sure they'll feel the same way after listening to this shit.
Yes, and I love that for them. They should, like, Rashida, honestly, like, we have to do it. It makes no sense not to.
Yeah.
It really doesn't make no sense. Like, we have to see the clear picture. We have to understand. So, what are we going to be talking about next time? We meet up with the Galdens.
So with the gardens, I've already explained the cause. Oh, I've gone a little bit into it.
Yes, let us know if you have any like queries, any questions, like where you don't understand. We are willing to repeat this like 1,000 times. Trust me.
Yeah. So in the next episode, maybe we can get into, because if you know the cause and you know the effect, we all know the effect. Then we can now discuss the solution.
True.
So in the next episode, I hope we will be discussing the solutions to what we have discussed today.
Okay, we're gonna be discussing solutions. So get with us, follow us on
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can find me at Becoming Rashida on TikTok and Instagram.
Please.
And my work page, my official job, you can find us at Safari Hunters UG.
Yes, please.
It's a travel company.
Okay. Yeah, and you can find this episode definitely on my YouTube. I'm gonna be putting a snippet on my Instagram, on my Selling Frenzy. So guys, keep up, and we're doing this for the gardens, and we love you big time.